Hi everybody and welcome to my channel again. And in today's series of Taking the Leap, I have my good friend here, Alex Kain. Hi Alex.
How you doing, Lynn?
So Alex is someone that I've known for almost a decade, and this is back when I first started my first business and I had no idea, and he still remembers me as this lost girl but looked like she had potential is what he said to me. And now that we're speaking again, I thought I will interview him to learn more about his journey in business, because to be honest, he's probably the only one that I've known that has been in business like from school. It's always been in business. He didn't stuck in the corporate world as like most of us. So here today is Alex talking about his different various ventures and different businesses, and inspiring us to take the leap and to pursue our dreams in business. Alex, first of all, can you talk me back into your childhood? You mentioned that you were already entrepreneurial, selling love potions. Tell me more about that.
Yes, that's true. I was selling love potions to the boys in year 8, I think, for $8 a bottle, and that was my first. Some people do lemonade stands. I had love potion, and it was made out of some Brute 33, some Old Spice, a bit of talcum powder, and I don't know.
And what got you to think of that idea? And did you have an entrepreneurial family background?
No, not at all. Absolutely the opposite. But I'd always been intrigued in business and wanted to aspire to that. My father was a watchmaker, so certainly a different kind of role. But I always knew I wanted to be ambitious and do something.
And what was it about business that you feel inspired? Was it the money, or what was it?
Yes, it was probably lifestyle and the potential to do something really good and improve my personal situation. So I think my first love back in those days was acting, drama. And
wow.
Yeah.
And why did you let that go? What?
Well, I don't think I really did. I mean, I took it on board. I did school plays and things. I also went on to do TV and some film and commercials and stuff. So I did a bit of that. And later on, I did stand-up comedy as well.
Wow, you really surprised me.
I wanted to be an actor. So when I actually left school, I did 1 semester of uni, and I was doing psychology and stuff to understand what's the motivation behind being a character, and all that. But after 1 semester I left, I said, no, uni's not for me. It just was tying me down. I wanted to become an actor. So I left, and of course it's very difficult to become a professional actor. So I ended up taking lots of interesting jobs. 7-Eleven, working in a bowling alley. I drove a funeral car.
Wow.
I did all sorts of interesting jobs just to try and make ends meet a little bit while I was trying to pursue what I was doing. And then probably I was a private investigator as well. That was an interesting
Wow. Okay. Yeah. So tell me more about your first successful business. What was it and when was it?
I guess my first business was probably setting up a theatre restaurant show. Right, so I approached a pub and I said, can I use your space? And I did that, and I ran that for about 3 months, and it was successful from the point of view of bringing an audience in, but it made a loss. So and I thought, oh wow, so it's not that easy to run your own business. There's a rude awakening. So then I went on to take on a job as a sales rep for a few years, just to pay back the debt and do all that sort of thing. Because that's what you got to do. So I did that for 5 years, and whilst I had a bit of a knot in my tummy because I knew this is not me, it's not what I want to do, I knew it's what I had to always had the dream. So the next thing that I did, because of my interest in television and drama, when Channel 31, the community TV station, opened up here in the mid-90s, I got on board with that and ended up becoming their first sales and marketing manager for a couple of years, consulting to them. So I was still sort of doing what I like, but in a business way.
Yes.
And that was the beginning of the internet at that point in time, and I dabbled a little bit there. And when I finished up there, I did a short stint working in a dating agency for a little while.
Wow. I am so surprised. But
it's a real Walter Mitty life story, lots of interesting adventures. That's kind of what it was for me. And then, but when I finished there, I said, no, I don't want to keep working for people. I want to do something for myself. And as I say, the internet was just starting off, and I thought, well, maybe I'll become an internet service provider. And I didn't really know anything about it, so I looked up other internet service providers who were operating, because it was really in the very early days with dial-up. And I found one, and I said, look, can I use your equipment and just rebadge it, resell it, remarket it under my own brand? And that's basically what I did. I became a virtual ISP back in 1996.
And then tell me more about your current business now and what you love about it, and what value does it add to the marketplace?
So the current business has been operating about 18 months now. It's called Human Pixel. The name is meaningful for us because it really is about, we do software development and websites and all that sort of stuff, and that's the pixel side. But really for me, what's really important is the human side, and it's really about how does what we build impact the people who use it, whether it's the customers or staff or business owners or whoever. Does it make sense? Is it easy to use? Is it intuitive? All those sorts of things. So for us, it's about looking at software development in today's age with all the resources that we have, but again, bringing it back to people. Just because I can make something, should I make it? Does it make sense to do it this way? And that's really what we do, is really take that approach. How can we help businesses solve all their pain points, So a lot of what we do now is about looking at processes that businesses have and finding what's broken and how we can fix it, how we can bring technology and help businesses align their business goals with how they're actually running the business.
Yeah. Take me back to your last business. So what made you take the leap to this new business? Who came up with the idea, and how did it come about?
I guess after that ISP business, I went into another startup. I set up a startup and I ran that for a few years, joined an incubator, did all of that, and I learned a lot from that. And it was kind of like Siri for driving, right? It was called Otto. And it was a great idea, and I went through a whole process. We won the Samsung Innovation Award. We did lots of exciting things, but at the end of the day, I had to kill it, because Google and Apple were improving their technologies, and they slowly caught up to what we were doing. And really, at some point, you got to wave the white flag and go, I got to bow out right now. And I think that's a really important lesson, to know when is the right time to quit. And it's not failure. It is better for me to move on to my next venture than to just persist and persist and persist with something that I can see the writing on the wall says, I could get lucky, but I may not. Move on. When I closed that down, I took on a consulting role and was head of digital for a company. And when that contract finished, I was talking to my current business partner, and I actually brought him into that business as a supplier. And I said to him, hey, why don't we do this together? And we'd known each other for about 10 years. So we talked about that, and a month away from me finishing the contract, we had already sort of worked out what we're going to have. And on the day I was finishing the contract, the next day we were going to register the company and press the go button.
So knowing what you know now with all these years of experience in business, is what was your mindset back then, and what's your mindset now about business? Because it seems to me now you just think, business is easy, problem solve, start a company, right? What did you think of business back then? I
think what you don't know helps you take steps forward. And I think that's a good approach to have, but it's also got to be balanced with a dose of reality. And you need to have people around you who aren't just going to say, yeah, that's great, just do it. Yeah, it sounds fantastic. Because you can have lots of yes people around you, but sometimes you need people to give you a reality check. I don't think I've really changed. I think I was ambitious. That 8-year-old or that young boy selling love potion is still the same guy today. I'm just bottling that love potion up as software now. And
so what made you so different, where you sort of started business, jumped off, went back to work a little bit, but gave back? What gave you that drive to just keep on not giving up? Because some people sort of take the lead, get a bit scared from all the problems, and then never again. They even tell themselves, I'm never going to start a business.
I think that's kind of like having a bad relationship and going, I'm never going to date anyone again. I think some people do it because they want to leave their job and they just want to go and do something else. They may not have the passion to do it, but it's like, yeah, you know, I want to leave the bank now and I want to go and set up a cafe or a florist or something.
Yeah.
And that's fine as long as you go into it with your eyes open and understand, you know, all the wonderful things that you think, well, now I don't have a boss anymore and now I can work the hours that I want. You know, you end up working a lot more and you have lots of bosses. It's just a different mindset. I think if you're passionate, if it's inherent in you that you really love entrepreneurship and business and you don't worry about obstacles. Obstacles are just challenges that you need to overcome and learn from. You know, they're not things that you say, oh, that's a blocker. I better give up now.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that's the difference between someone who really loves doing business and someone who likes the idea of business.
Yeah, I agree. And I think you have to have that deep passion for it to survive in business, to actually like push through all those challenges. What's your mission in life? Like, you know, you've been doing different types of businesses and, you know, you're still around hustling away. Like, what's driving you? What's your big mission in life?
Well, I think for me, I'm not trying to be an actor anymore.
Yeah.
I've done that a little bit. I think I'm like that with my clients every day now.
Yeah.
But I think for me, it's about making a difference and making some change in the world. And I think I've had that idea for a long time, but I think you need to be in a position where you're fully self-supporting and you're okay and you can now do those other things for other people. If you're worrying about where your next meal's coming from, it's very difficult to be able to go and help out others. So I think that was the point, was to build business and get to a point where I can be able to have that impact. And yeah, so I did have some years ago a website I created called Wishbook. And that was basically a website where people could make wishes who were in need of something and other people could assist them. And I think that's something I want to do more of. Not so much the wish side of things, but want to make some changes in the world. And that's, you know, to the education system, the health system, and just the way people respect and treat each other. And for me, that's a really big goal. And I'm just formulating how I'm actually going to attack that.
I see. Yeah, I mean, because I also agree. I felt like if I went back to a job, the most I could do is look after myself and my family, you know, in terms of the salary that I would earn. But by having a business, I have a chance to make a bigger difference, recruit more people. That means giving more jobs to people. And then with the profits, you can invest more. Is that what you're thinking as well?
We've got great staff, you know, all over the world now, and to be able to help them out and provide them with a constant income. And I know you do the same in your business with all your staff, you know. Just the idea that you're helping a lot of people, you're not just doing it for yourself, you're doing it, you know, to help a wider community out there. I think at the end of the day, people say that that's a bit altruistic, but it's not really, it's selfish, because I feel good when I know I can help people, you know. So I think that's...
Yeah, likewise. And I think that's probably like my biggest driver, because, you know, the many times that I was scared and I wanted to go back to a job, I felt like, well, then back to this little, you know, office space and earning this capped income, I'm never going to be able to do anything with it. And I think just because my mission is to help the world, there's no other choice but to run a business. I think that's what's kept me on.
Yeah, and I know, look, even when I've done like network marketing and that sort of thing, that it always comes back to what's your why. Because, you know, if it's just I want another car or I want to build a house or something like that, that's okay. But when you run into the tough times in your business, then those things you can just walk away from. But if it's like, you know, I want to help my kids, I want to do something, I want to build something for the community, then, you know, you feel answerable to that higher authority of what you're trying to achieve. So it's a lot harder to just walk away from it.
If someone is right now in that limbo where they're like, my job is sort of like good, it's not bad, I feel like my calling is to do something with my life, but it's not so bad to move, like what would your advice be? Again,
I think it comes down to what's your reason for wanting to move. If you just don't like having a boss, or if you don't like working under a structure, then having a business isn't necessarily going to give you the freedom that you think it's going to give you, because, you know, you, as I say, you have many bosses to answer to then. So I think it's about, if you're passionate and you've got something that you want to do, first of all, research it. If there's something you want to do, make sure it's viable. There's nothing worse than leaving something safe and secure, going to something that's insecure, but that doesn't actually have the capacity to provide you the income that you need or want.
Yeah.
And a lot of people do that. They go, yeah, that's great. But when you do the numbers, it was never able to get to that level that you thought. So you've got to just do the research first. So make sure there's a need and make sure there's the capacity there.
Yeah.
And I think once you've done the research, then you've got to look at yourself and just go, do I have what it takes? Am I someone who can work on my own, or do I need a partner, someone to bounce ideas off, or can I work totally in my own head and that's okay? Because I think you need to take stock of yourself and just see, do you have everything it needs? Do you have a little bit of money to bankroll yourself for a little while? All those sorts of things. I think once you do that, then I think, go for it. If you tick all the buttons, go for it.
Yeah, do a bit of due diligence, but at the end of the day, don't you think that it's still a leap of faith? It's still that trusting the universe will take you one step at a time?
Absolutely. Look, the universe will meet you halfway, right? Yeah. But you've got to get halfway first. If you just sit there with your arms crossed, go, money, come to me, ain't going to happen. So you got to take some effort. The universe will meet you, but you got to do some of it yourself.
Okay, so now that you've been in business for almost 30 years, if you could do it all again, the perfect way, like what would be like the 3 things you would make sure you do in order to succeed? Or if you could do it all again, what would it be?
I think you've got to listen to your heart. Very few people have become successful doing something they don't like or don't enjoy. I can't see anyone that's just risen to the top because they hated what they were doing. So if you're in that position, really listen to that little voice in your head that's saying something doesn't feel right. I'm not in alignment with my true goals, and I'm not really being authentic. So that's the first thing. So listen, have good people around you. Surround yourself with people who will give you truthful answers, but who also aren't going to put you down either. Because, it takes courage to go out there and put yourself out there and stand up. And we've seen in this country, tall poppies get knocked down.
Yeah.
So I think you've got to have the courage to do that, but you also want to surround yourself with people who will listen and who will support you and back you, but will also still give you a dose of reality. I think that's important. And I think we've spoken about this before, that, you are the average of the 5 people you surround yourself with. Surround yourself with people who lift your average.
Yep.
And probably the third thing I'd say is dare to dream. Too much we get caught up in day-to-day life, and, we've got bills and we've got stuff, and we just stop ourselves from taking that leap. And I think allow yourself to have that, do some visualizations, imagine what the future could look like.
Yeah, and I think that's why I can relate to you, because we've got that spiritual side as well as that business side, because I come to realize that we need both in order to be successful. Like, it's not all about like do this and that and then things will work out. It's a lot of it is this internal world that we need to manage, that visualization, imagining, and it's all the almost hokey pokey magical thing that I think some entrepreneurs don't understand.
Absolutely. And look, life is not a straight line. You're going to get dips and bumps, and all sorts of things are going to happen. And so you've got to stay true to your belief about what you want to do. Again, temper that with a little bit of reality. Don't just be off in fairyland. But as long as there is something real there, then just stay the course and just go for it. And the universe will come and meet you. And
is that what keeps you happy all the time? Whenever I talk to you, you're so happy. Is that because you trust the universe is looking after you? And
look, I think for me, it doesn't feel like work. I mean, look, here I am, I'm working from home. I don't feel like I'm at work. I'm solving other people's problems. When work feels like work, then that's when I would question it.
Take the leap. Do something about it. Yeah, I agree. And I think the wiser and older I get, the more I realize life is just temporary, and we're just lucky to just sort of get to play this game of life for a while that we don't know how long. And so why take it so serious and just do whatever we can, play around? Because if you die tomorrow, it doesn't really matter, right? Like that's it. You can't carry all your riches with you, nor can you carry your worries, because there's nothing left there. So
it shouldn't be hard work. And I know that can be hard for some people because a lot of battlers, a lot of people struggling. But in an ideal world, it shouldn't be hard. And we've all got talents, and we've got gifts, and we've got things that we can do that no one else can do in that particular way. And those are the things that we should be, working towards for ourselves.
Well, thank you so much, Alex, for your time. So just to wrap up, your current company, Human Pixel, helps small to medium-sized businesses, right, to grow their business, but using technology and making sure that integrates well with the business model and the business goals. And in terms of everyone else who wants to connect with you, who aren't your ideal client, how do they connect with you? What social platforms are you on?
Look, you can find me on LinkedIn. I don't play around on too many social platforms. I keep it narrow focus.
Yep,
or find us on humanpixel.com.au and you'll find more about us there.
Thank you so much for your time. And I know your goal is to also help and inspire other people to start a business and succeed in life. So thank you for doing this with me. And I will catch you soon. And I'll put your details on the links in the description below. Bye, Alex. Bye.
See ya.